Hey everybody, turns out since 2 days ago my bedroom is out of power entirely. There is no light, no fan, TV's off, vacuum cleaner not charging. So I checked the breaker box. Let me take you there. Here we are. My breaker box is on the outside of the house. To open it, there's a little latch here. And strangely, it's a little hard to do with one hand. Strangely, hold this and pull it down a little bit. There we are. And I saw that this particular one, there's some labeling here with my breakers, but it's, partially legible. I should at some point redo this. This breaker is the one that flipped or tripped. And if I try to switch it back on, you see how it's not sticking. It just flips back and my bedroom power is just off. This is a breaker that has a built-in GFCI here, ground fault current detection, which is typically used in places where there is water running, such as bathrooms and stuff, kitchen sinks and so on. I don't really know why I have one like this for my bedroom, but I'm not going to mess with it. I'm going to replace it with the same kind. So what I need to do is remove this panel here to get to the actual breakers. But the very, very first thing I need to do is switch my main power off. So I got to turn the entire house off. Up here is the main. So without doing that, I'm at a high risk of hurting or killing myself. So I'm gonna shut this off now. And now my whole house should be dark. To remove the panel, I gotta take the screw off here. There's only one single screw, and then the cover is just slid in there. So I got a little nut driver that fits, because honestly I tried earlier with the flathead and that screw is all stripped, but with a hex nut driver it's all good. Make sure I don't lose that, and the panel slides out like so. Just zoom out a little. Okay. This on the side. It's a little wet and muddy here today. So this is my particular house wiring. Now that I switched the house power off does not mean I'm completely risk-free here. These two big strands, they come from the street and feed my house. So if I would touch any of those two, it's probably gonna blow my brains out. But everything past that goes through that breaker, and this should all be dead now. So this is the one I need to replace. I ran to Home Depot beforehand and bought a breaker like this. They told me, I wasn't aware of this, there could be some brand compatibility issues. Unfortunately, I couldn't see what brand this is here. So I'm gonna pull it out and see if my new one fits, just mechanically. If not, it's gonna be another trip and return that one and replace it. You see here my connections to the breaker. And to remove these, this is the one, by the way. I switched it off so I know which one I'm working on. To remove these, I need glasses here. I think I need a flathead screwdriver. Yeah, I think I should just be able to pull that breaker out. There you go. So they're not mounted with any clamps or extra mounting screws or anything. They're basically just kind of clicked in. So you just bend it over to the side, unlock it here, and you see that little hook. That's what holds it in place there. That's the connectivity. Now I want to see what kind of breaker I have here. This is a Siemens, which is nice. I'm from Germany. This is really called Siemens, but since we're in the US here, people will say Siemens. Q115AF. Okay, let me get mine up here and see what compatibility that is, because Home Depot didn't have much of a variety there. Seems to be wrong. I got an Eaton here because that was the only one they had that also has this ground fault built in. And it says here specifically that will only replace with Cutler Hammer, Challenger, Westinghouse, Bryant, and Eaton, not with Siemens. I don't know exactly what the effects of this would be. If it's a mechanical issue, a mechanical fit, because technically it's a switch. It bridges two wires to complete an electric circuit, and that's all. But it's still unopened, and this thing was unfortunately pretty pricey, $60-something. So I will close this back up, turn the power back on for now so my family is not in the dark, and do another run to Home Depot and get the right one. See you back then. All right, I'm back. I went to Home Depot to return the breaker, but the older gentleman who works in electrical there, he assured me that this Eaton is compatible despite what the box says, and shouldn't give me any problems. I'm going to open this box now and hope I don't need to return it. Now let's compare this. The terminals here where the wires go in, they show me load and neutral are here at the top. This is the load, the black one. The white one is the neutral. My replacement that I bought looks the same. Also tells me on this side that the load, the black one, goes in here. And then at the bottom comes out the panel neutral here, which is the same as here. And they're both permanently installed, so I gotta follow this one along. See where it goes. It ends up here in that strip. So I follow this. This is the neutral for the panel here. And I will have to remove, it's the very bottom one, interestingly. Shouldn't really matter because they're all on the same strip here. They're just making sure you have a neutral reference point for all your voltages. But it's the very bottom one that I need to remove. So I'm going to do this. Fetch a screwdriver. Here we go. It's a little bit hard to hold the phone and do this at the same time. Actually, not moving. I'm going to pause it for a moment so I can use both hands. There's not much to see other than I'm going to lose the screw. All right, I loosened the screw. I didn't lose it, I just loosened it. And I'm pulling out this one. I go straight to my faulty breaker here. And then I have to obviously disconnect these two and connect them on the same terminals on my new one. Let's see which screwdriver fits here. So what I like to do in situations like this, whether it's light switches or anything, I always will work wire by wire. I will not disconnect all three of them at the same time, because then I have to take extra precaution to make sure I install everything in the same order again. So what I'm going to do first is I removed this one. Sorry, I gotta zoom out a little. I removed this one from up there. I'm going to take my new one and install that right there, so I'm already in the clear and I don't later forget that or put it in the wrong spot. So once again, it goes under that little clamp and then I tighten the screw. I'm gonna have to pause again to just do that with 2 hands. Give me 1 second. Okay, sorry I couldn't show this, but there wasn't really anything to see other than I stuck the wire under that clamp and tightened the screw. Here's my new breaker. This is my old one. So now they look mechanically. This all seems to fit. I think the guy was right at Home Depot. This is all the same size. The connection here looks identical. The little hook that locks it in place seems identical. So I think I should be good. So I'm gonna now move the white neutral wire from this terminal to this one, and then the black load one from that terminal to that terminal. See if I can do this with one hand. Let me see. So here's a Phillips head screw for some reason, and on the other one is a Phillips head with a, I don't know what that's called when they have that square in the middle. It's not a hex, it's just a square. 2 separate different screws. It's kind of odd. I'm just gonna try to loosen this. There we go. Trying this with my one left arm here. Wire comes out. And I'm gonna have to open the terminal on this breaker here. And try again. Just doesn't fit. I have some debris on the screwdriver here, that's why it won't go in. Try a smaller one. It's not small, it's actually bigger. Oh, but this one fits, okay. There we go. Excuse the pun, but if you don't have the right screwdriver, you're screwed. So here's my wire. It came from this old breaker now into the new breaker. This is what these terminals look like. You loosen the screw, you can get a wire in and then tighten it. So I'm gonna loosen a little bit more. Camera can catch that, I hope. Wire goes in. It's a little bit too long, I should cut this shorter. I'm just gonna get a wire cut, I'll be right back. It's never a good idea to have open wires, uncovered, uninsulated, sticking out somewhere. This is not particularly dangerous in the breaker panel here. But if there's ever any debris or anything, so I brought a wire cutter to make this one, where am I here? To make this one a little shorter. So if I have it, if I have it about this long, it should be fine. Okay, so I'm gonna cut this out. Make sure the part that comes off is not gonna fall somewhere into my breaker box. I'm just gonna hold it here with a thumb, clip it off, and then, sorry yard, I'm gonna drop a little bit of copper, it's not gonna hurt my yard. All right, here we go again. Try to do this with one hand. Should get a GoPro for these things and stick to my head. All right, now this looks better. There is no naked copper wire sticking out of the breaker terminal. Now I need to tie it again. Screwdriver. Just tighten the screw. I need to hold it with another hand here, so I'm hoping this makes sense on the video. Okay, so you probably couldn't see this because you had to use my other hand a little bit, but there we go. This is now tight. Screw is tight down, holding the wire in place. Now do the same with the load wire here. So I gotta loosen this screw. I can't really show you, I need my second hand. Okay, the wire comes out. Seems also a bit long. Yes, I'm gonna cut a little bit of the copper off here. Better. So once again, I did this wire by wire, so I'm not going to confuse anything. This one is not completely disconnected. Gotta pull it out here. That's the old one, causing the issue. And this one needs to go into this terminal now. So I'm going to open that up. Enough clearance for the wire to fit in. Plug it in there. Hold it in place. Now again, need my second hand. So excuse me for 1 second here. Son checked for me if the light works. He says everything is fine. So it looks like I'm having success here. Here's just quick proof that my project was successful. I'm in my bedroom, lights off, lights back on, everything works as intended, and I'm pretty happy I got this done today. So this whole operation cost me $67 for this breaker, which is probably a little overpriced. I might have probably gotten it a little cheaper from some online, but I needed to get this done today. So whatever, it has this GFCI extra circuitry in it, but I'm for sure much cheaper than calling an electrician to this. But be absolutely sure when you work on stuff like this that you know what you're doing, that you switch your power off, that there's nothing in your way that would potentially lead you to touching any of this up here. It'll hurt you badly, potentially kill you. So if you're uncomfortable with electricity, I get that. Call definitely a professional. But as long as you keep a clear head and just make sure you don't confuse yourself, you don't mix up wires, and everything fits together, you should be good. And saves you a lot of money and waiting time. So I'm gonna close up the panel, and that is it. Thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna do whatever projects come across in my life. I'm gonna try to record those and post them. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Houston out. Bye bye.